Okay, and we are live. Are we live? Okay, we're live. Right, everyone, it is Finn here. And welcome to my Premier League Match Week 30 predictions. Now, of course, it is going to be a relatively short Premier League Match Week. We've only got 4 games to talk about. And you know what? I decided, why not try to do a live stream for my Premier League predictions? It's a relatively short match week. It's always fun to experiment, see how things go. And obviously, if you guys end up enjoying the live streams, if you enjoy communicating with me throughout the predictions, then I might just do more in the future. But of course, if you're not watching this as a live stream, if you're watching this as a pre-recorded thing, once the live stream is done, there should be chapters in the description down below for every game that we're talking about. But of course, looking at Premier League Match Week 30, as I said, we've got 4 big games to talk about. Although there are only 4, they're big ones. We've got games like Wolves versus Leeds United, Aston Villa versus Arsenal, which I really think that could be a major game that has potential to cause an upset. We've got Leicester City versus Brentford. And to end off Premier League Match Week 30, we've got Tottenham Hotspurs versus West Ham United, a top 4 kind of game. As I said, I just wanted to try this out as a live stream because, of course, we've got chat available. So, of course, that's a really, really nice thing. Hi from Somalia. Okay, I think that's the first time I've ever had someone from Somalia talk to me. So it is great to meet you from all around the world. Obviously, come on, you Spurs. Getting Squidly saying hi. Of course, it is great to meet all of you. But as I said, jumping into these 4 games, they are absolutely massive. Now, of course, let me just see if I'm able to add the other games or how I'm able to share my screen to show you the games. As I said, sorry if I am slightly late. I was just sorting out something with my car beforehand. I took my car for a service, had to get back that entire rush. But of course, looking at the games for this upcoming match week. Now, what are my options? Do not show these tips again. Share screen. Windows, what are my windows available? Am I able to share my stream Chrome tabs? There we go. That is the page to share. Okay, so I think you guys should be seeing what I'm seeing on screen. You should be able to see my predictions, or the place in which I'm able to put my predictions. Okay, Maximus, hi from Cyprus. Okay, Cyprus. Awesome to meet you guys from around the globe. But of course, jumping into my predictions. Looking at prediction number 1, obviously starting off this match week, Wolves versus Leeds United. Now, of course, I'm tremendously torn in terms of a prediction for this, because looking at Wolves, I mean, for example, they had that really weird patch of spell where they were struggling to get results. But of course, that 1-0 win versus Everton and a 4-0 win versus Watford beforehand. I mean, Wolves haven't looked bad so far this season. But looking at Leeds United, yes, they haven't been great by any extent this season. I think to an extent they've almost picked up when it comes to attacking form. And I can say to an extent they've picked up in a level of confidence since Jesse Marsh has taken over the managerial role. And to be honest, the way they counter-attack up front, they are improving game by game. And I've seen Wolves play against fast counter-attacking teams like a Crystal Palace, which has been like a hot knife through butter. So although Wolves have by far had a better season, I don't think we can rule out Leeds United. I think it could be a tremendously close one. Now, of course, I do want you guys to put down in the comments, if you're watching this live, if you're watching this at home after the recording, what is your prediction for these games? But of course, I'm looking at Wolves, as I said, seem to be in much better form. But looking at these 2 teams, team for team, could be a tremendously close game. Obviously, Leeds beat Norwich last time around. I think they could have beaten them by a lot more than just 2-1. But to be honest, the way the season has been going, I think we can give it to Wolves, and I am just going to give it a 2-1 win. But as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Leeds United were able to take this result. And my player to watch, you know who it has to be. It has to be good old Ruben Neves. Of course, the Portuguese maestro in the midfield. I mean, he's just been brilliant throughout the season. As I've said in multiple videos, I'm pretty sure you guys are tired of me saying it at this point. Attacking and defensive duties, he just knows how to get the job done. And we saw that with him getting an assist in the previous game. Once again, just an absolutely brilliant midfielder. And although the strikers aren't necessarily scoring the goals that they need to this season, he's definitely helped with that kind of creative ability. Let's see. I'm just going to my chat. Okay, so the only prediction I see that we seem to have on this live stream is Maximus saying they think that Wolves is going to win 2-1. Okay, so seem to be on a similar field there. I also think that Wolves are obviously going to win. That is my exact prediction. But heading into our next game, Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Now, absolutely monstrous game. First of all, can we talk about that? Yes, obviously Arsenal just lost 2-0 to Liverpool, but in my opinion, I don't know if they were ever going to win that game, because looking at Liverpool, obviously one of the best teams in Europe, in the world at the moment. So it can't be too harsh on them. But saying that, Arsenal did have chances versus Liverpool. Defensively, they did have moments versus Liverpool. Before that, I mean, over the weekend, they also played Leicester City. So they're going to be very tired after their run of games. They beat Leicester City 2-0. So, you know what? Arsenal's season as a whole, it's been really good. As you guys can see, in terms of form, yeah, they lost to Liverpool. But other than that, they have been marvelous over the last 3-4 months of football. I mean, Arsenal are competing for a top 4 spot. As you can see, they've got 4th place with games in hand over Manchester United. Looking at Aston Villa, I wouldn't say that the Steven Gerrard era has quite taken over yet. Yes, I think he's made brilliant signings. I think he's had good games, but it only seems to be as of late where he started to pick up form. Obviously, lost to West Ham United in the previous game. I will say this, I wasn't too convinced by Aston Villa. I think defensively and attacking-wise, West Ham United did have that game on lockdown. Sorry, that's very much a PTSD kind of word in 2022. But of course, looking at Aston Villa, I do think they've had brilliant moments. We saw that in that 4-0 win versus Southampton. Aston Villa have potential to have brilliant attacking play. They've got a brilliant squad. Defensively, I still think they've got key areas to work on. But between these two teams, it's going to be so close. And I'm not going to lie, I don't have an easy answer to I think will be the player to watch. But as I said, looking at form, I think I might just have to go for Arsenal. I think it could be a relatively close game. It could be a 3-2 kind of game. But I do think Arsenal should have this in the bag. Obviously, it is going to be the likes of Martinez versus Ramsdale between the posts. So 2 brilliant goalkeepers. I feel like they could be the difference makers for these two teams. But at the end of the day, I do think Arsenal have the ability to scrape a win. As I said, could go either way. And my play to watch, it's going to be a relatively tricky one. Obviously, Bukayo Saka made a mistake that led to one of the Liverpool games in the previous game. But of course, he's always a viable option for a player to watch. He's always fantastic. But as I said, it is going to be Alexander Lacazette. Once again, although not scoring the goals that you want your number 9 striker to score, at the end of the day, he's still been contributing up front. He still makes the right runs and could be a real threat versus Aston Villa. Before we move on to that, just going to see if anyone says anything here. Once again, Maximus being the player, the player, sure, why not? The man in the comments with the subscription with the comment, Villa 2, Arsenal 2. You know what? To an extent, I really I agree with that, to be honest with you. I think that is very much a possible kind of prediction. And you know what? As I said, I want to make these live videos so that you guys can take part. And you know what? If you think it can be a 2-2 kind of prediction, then you know what? I think I tend to agree with you. I'm going to trust you on that one. I am going to go for a 2-2 as well then, because you seem to be confident in it. As I said, I've got no clear winner, so I am going to go with 2-2. Let's hope your prediction doesn't fail us, Maximus, but thank you very much for your contribution. Next up, we've got Leicester City versus Brentford. Now, of course, looking at Leicester City, obviously their previous game versus Arsenal, not great. They lost 2-0, but before that, they kept 3 clean sheets in a row. They seem to have fixed up a tiny bit in the back, but obviously in their previous game, I would say Leicester City, they get slightly sloppy in defense. We saw that versus Arsenal. They almost lose focus completely. They tend to panic a tiny bit. Looking at Brentford, they've picked up form a tiny bit. They've really started to look good in attack. And I think obviously a large part of that goes to Christian Eriksen being added to the team. I do think Brentford have potential to beat Leicester City, especially because Leicester City haven't had a good season. I mean, look, Leicester City literally have 1 win more than Brentford, which, I mean, that is just by itself shocking to look at. Obviously, Leicester City 12th on the table, Brentford 14th. I mean, it's not much separating these two teams. If Brentford win this one, they'll go with the same points as Leicester City. So, you know, it's a lot closer than some people think. But I do think Leicester City should have this one in the bag. Once again, the kind of form Kasper Schmeichel's been in. I'm going to have faith in his goalkeeping ability. So, you know what? I'm going to go with the Leicester City 3-1 win. And my play to watch is going to be that Danish piece of brilliance between the posts with Kasper Schmeichel. Being a brilliant goalkeeper so far for Leicester City this season. Although they haven't had a brilliant season, he's definitely kept them in at some points. And I think he will be the difference maker versus a very informed Brentford team. Will he be able to stop Ivan Toney? That is the topic that I'm interested in hearing. Once again, in the comments, Maximus agrees with me. Going into our 4th and final prediction, but I just want to see, do you guys have anything else to say in terms of the predictions? Before we move on, don't see so. Anyway, I'll head back to the comments anyway after these predictions. We'll be able to review a few things, preview a few things, talk about this match week. But of course, heading into our final game, the biggest game of match week 30, Tottenham Hotspurs versus West Ham United. Now, Spurs, once again, the weirdest team in terms of form. Some of the teams they're able to beat versus some of the teams that they've struggled to get results from. Spurs has to be, maybe I would say, the most unpredictable team in the Premier League this season. As I said, they can go ahead and beat Manchester City if they want to, but they can also lose to Burnley. They can lose to this team, that team. So Spurs, by no mark, is any game an easy game for them, especially versus West Ham United. Yes, West Ham United maybe not in the form that they started the season. They started the season off with something ridiculous like 7 and 11 wins. But in the next 17 games throughout the season, they've only picked up about 6 or 7 wins. So West Ham United have had a serious dip in form in the last 2/3 of the season. So it's a tricky one to predict. Obviously, looking at this game, I'll always be so fond of that memory of that 3-3 comeback from West Ham United to get that draw versus Spurs. Maybe I would say from a non-Manchester United point of view, because obviously I'm a United fan, from a non-United point of view, maybe my favorite Premier League game of all time. I know, crazy to say, but what an entertaining game that was. As I said, looking at West Ham United in their game versus Aston Villa, they just seemed to control the game in every single way. Defensively, they locked up pretty well. On the attacking front, they had a lot of chances. I still feel like maybe they should be taking slightly more of their chances. But yeah, as I said, I've always thought of West Ham United as one of those teams that's got brilliant individuals everywhere in the pitch. But the thing that makes them deadly is the fact that those individuals also play well as a team and versus any team in the world. I feel like they could almost get points. Obviously, with the players like Ben Rama also picking on form, serious threat. But obviously, looking at Tottenham Hotspurs, Harry Kane just picking up on form and to be within the top goal scorers of the Premier League this season after that horrid start he had to the season, once again shows you and proves to you that Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in the world and deserves to be amongst those names. So, of course, looking at those two teams, with everything that I've said, in terms of a prediction, it's not going to be easy. West Ham United in 6th place, Tottenham Hotspurs in 7th place. Obviously, the exact same points. Obviously, West Ham United with a game in hand, though. But this is a massive game, as whoever wins this game will leapfrog Manchester United, unless obviously they get a draw from this one. But what a game. How much is on the line for a game like this? Obviously, as I said, Spurs obviously beat Brighton 2-0 last night, the night of recording, or the day of recording this. Once again, Spurs on their day can be super good, but it's so unpredictable. Before predicting that one, I want to see, do you guys have any comments about that? Yeah, let me see what you guys see. Maximus, obviously, let me just close the screen before I get into those predictions. Obviously, Maximus says 3-1. Is your prediction for Spurs. Obviously, come on, you Spurs. That's obviously your prediction. You're a Spurs fan. But I could see that happening. I could see it be a very dominant performance from either of these two teams, but I could also see it be a close one. Obviously, the next comment, Tottenham are the definition of a flip-flop. They win one, they lose one. Yeah, exactly. Well, as you saw from that form, the form that they're in, it's very much like that. But you are going to go for a 2-1 Spurs win, which makes me believe that it very much could be a 2-1 win in Spurs' favor. You guys seem to be heavily into Spurs' favor. To be honest, I do think Spurs can take this one. Or you said, or a 2-1 from Maximus as well. So you guys seem set on a 2-1 win in Spurs' favor. I don't think I disagree too much. Obviously, in the beginning of the season, I think West Ham beat Spurs, but that's only because Harry Kane doesn't know how to defend to save his life versus Mikel Antonio, which you can't blame him for. To be honest, I would take Harry Kane over Harry Maguire in the Manchester United defense. But yeah, I tend to agree with you guys. I do think Spurs really have potential to be the better team in this one. They should be the better team with the squad that they've had, with the recent form they've been in compared to West Ham United. Obviously, West Ham United going to be tired after their European football. I think heading back to the predictions, I do think Spurs are going to get a 2-1 win. And once again, Harry Kane, the form he's been in, has to be my player to watch. Once again, he will be one of the top goal scorers. He could be second place easily. I don't think anyone's going to catch Mo Salah. But yeah, I do think Spurs should win this one. And this is a mammoth game for whoever wants that top 4 spot. It's a bit of a pity that West Ham United have dipped a bit in form since the beginning of the season, that they're not really fighting as much as Manchester United and Arsenal for that spot. But once again, a top quality team that you cannot rest on. But yeah, guys, those are obviously the predictions. I don't know if you guys have any other questions you want me to ask, or if you guys are relatively good with the stream. As I said, my first ever Premier League predictions live stream. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I don't think my predictions are going to be too wrong. I don't think you guys disagree with me too much on them. If so, obviously do let me know. But yeah, those are going to be my predictions for this video. Once again, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe down below. If we could get my channel to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the weekend, I would really, really appreciate that. I'm going away for the weekend, so that would be a little cherry on top added for me. I would really, really appreciate that. Do you really think Man United can make top four? Okay, so a bit of a question out of this Premier League prediction video. Do I think they can make top four? Look, are they in the race for top four? Yes, they definitely are. Between them, obviously West Ham United, Spurs, and Arsenal, I think they're all in the race. Obviously, I think the one thing that Arsenal have above everyone else, they've got the games. They've got all the games in hand. So it depends if Arsenal can win those games. But could Manchester United make top four? I definitely think that's a possibility. If you're in the race, anyone in the race can make top four. It doesn't matter what, look, it obviously matters what your form is. But obviously, if you're within that point bracket and you've got the right players, yeah, I do think Manchester United could get top four if they really, really push for it. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to catch Chelsea. I think Chelsea are pretty comfortable in third place. They're so far on either side of both second and fourth place, so I can't imagine them moving anywhere. Obviously, in terms of the title itself, it will be between Liverpool and Man City. Obviously, it's only a 1 point difference, so it really depends who wins the game between Man City and Liverpool a bit later this season. But of course, yeah, as I said, if you guys are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe down below, whether you've watched this as a live stream, obviously as a pre-recording. If you are watching this as a recording, let me know in the comment section down below, what are your predictions for this game? And obviously, if you do want to catch me live in the future, do subscribe and hit that little bell notification next to that so that you get notified when I do go live and stuff like that. And also I put in my community tab when I go live and I keep you informed about everything in that section. But guys, I think that is pretty much it for today's video. Of course, it is almost weekend time. I hope you have a brilliant weekend. And as I said, only 4 games this Premier League match weekend. But although there's only 4, they are massive ones. It could turn the top 4 around completely. We will have to wait and see. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Everyone who's joined me live, everyone who's watching this as a pre-recorded video, thank you so much for your support. But this has been Finn, FYNN. Until next time, I love and appreciate every single one of you. And as I said, if you guys want me to do my predictions as a live stream in the future, as opposed to pre-recording, let me know in the comment section down below. And can we get this video to 20 likes? And I'll consider it. But guys, thank you for watching. Finn, FYNN. Cheers. Now to just end the live stream. See you all next time.